Did you know you might be losing speed without even realizing it? Imagine running faster, with less effort, without feeling out of breath. Is it possible? Some say it's all about the amount of oxygen your body uses. Others swear that the key is lasting through more miles without tiring. But what will really push you to break through your own limits? Today, we're going to bust myths and find out what a runner truly needs to reach their best version. So, if you want to run faster, effortlessly, and conquer any distance, this is your moment. Let's get started. What is maximum oxygen consumption? Imagine this. Every time you run, your muscles need oxygen to perform at their best. Oxygen is like fuel for an engine, and the more efficiently you use it, the faster and farther you can run. This is where the concept of maximum oxygen consumption comes in. In other words, it's about how much oxygen you can use when pushing yourself to the limit. Many trainers and runners believe that increasing this level is the key to being faster. Why? Because the higher your oxygen intake, the more energy your muscles can produce. It's like turning every breath into pure speed. Imagine running as if you had a full tank of gas all the time. But here's the interesting part. Improving this ability isn't easy. It requires hard training, intervals, and intense efforts that push your limits. However, those who manage to increase their oxygen intake say they feel a radical change. They can hold high paces for longer without tiring as quickly. So here's a question for you. Is it really necessary for all runners to focus on improving this ability? Because although it can make you faster, it's not the only piece of the puzzle. And it may not even be what you need most to reach your best running version. Now, let's talk about something many runners overlook: the ability to endure. Imagine running a long distance, keeping your pace, and still having the energy to speed up at the end. That ability to keep going, to push forward when others are already exhausted, that's endurance. Endurance isn't just about how long you can run. It's about how you can keep up the effort without hitting fatigue. It's the difference between running a few miles and completing an entire race without losing control or energy. It's that ability to keep going, to push when others fall behind. How do you build this capacity? Through long runs, accumulated miles, and a lot of work maintaining a steady rhythm. Unlike oxygen intake, here it's not about explosiveness or maximizing every breath's efficiency. It's about training your body to become unstoppable, to keep going and going without giving in. So here's an intriguing question. If you could last for miles without feeling out of breath, would you really need to improve your maximum speed? Endurance might be your secret weapon for performing in those long races, for pushing beyond your limits regardless of the distance. So, could this be the real secret to effortless running? But is endurance enough, or do you need something more? Now, we've reached the big dilemma. What's really more important for better running? On one side, we have the ability to maximize oxygen, which can help you reach impressive speeds. On the other, we have the power to endure, letting you stay strong for longer without tiring. It's like oxygen intake is the accelerator and endurance, the fuel tank. But what happens when we combine them? The truth is, if you want to reach your full potential, you need a balance between both. Think about elite runners. The fastest ones have impressive oxygen capacity, sure, but they've also built endurance to sustain that pace over long distances. For short, explosive distances, like a 5K, oxygen intake might play a more important role. It's the ability to go fast from the start and maintain speed without running out of breath. But for a marathon, endurance is your best friend, because it's what lets you keep going when you've been running for over 2 hours. So the answer to the big question depends on your goal. If you're aiming for speed over short distances, focusing on oxygen intake might be best. But if your goal is to last through long distances, endurance will be key to keeping you going. Now, here's the real revelation. The magic happens when you bring them together. A runner who knows when to accelerate and when to endure has an edge over the rest. It's that balance that lets you run faster and farther with seemingly no effort. The key is working on both abilities and learning to use them to your advantage. So, how can you achieve that perfect balance between consuming more oxygen and lasting longer? Here are some key strategies to improve both aspects without losing your mind. First, let's talk about increasing your oxygen capacity. For this, there's nothing better than interval training. Intervals are sessions where you alternate maximum effort with recovery periods. For example, you can run at full speed for a minute, then jog lightly for 2. This kind of training tests your body, forcing it to use more oxygen efficiently. It won't be easy, but I promise the results will be worth it. Now, to build solid endurance, your best friend will be long runs. Yes, those days where you rack up miles at a comfortable pace, unhurried. These runs not only help you build a base of endurance, but also train your body to burn fat as fuel, something crucial in long races. A good plan is to gradually increase the distance each week, letting your body adapt without wearing it out. But there's a third type of training that can take you to the next level, the tempo run or threshold training. These are runs at a constant pace, but just below your maximum capacity. The idea is to run at a challenging but sustainable pace for 20 to 40 minutes. This session improves your lactate threshold, meaning the speed you can maintain without your muscles tiring too quickly. In other words, it makes you more efficient and lets you sustain high paces without burning out. And here's the best part. You can combine these 3 types of training in your week. Imagine, one day, you do intervals to improve oxygen intake. Another day, you focus on a long run to build endurance. And another day, you do a tempo run to enhance efficiency and sustain speed. This combination will make you a complete runner, ready to tackle any challenge that comes your way. Now, here's a challenge for you. Try this training mix and see for yourself how your performance skyrockets. When you achieve that balance between oxygen intake and endurance, you'll feel like running is almost like flying. Are you ready to see how far you can go? And there you have it. The secret to running faster and with less effort is balancing your oxygen intake and endurance. Now it's up to you to put it into practice and reach your best version as a runner. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips to improve your running, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Share this video with other runners who want to improve. See you in the next video.